Usually, whenever we see someone does something special, we tend to have two types of reaction. One is fanning out and the other is hating on that person. And what I mean by that is the first reaction is we go ahead and compliment that person and tell them, wow, what you did is so fascinating. I could never do this. Or we would go ahead and say, well, he or she didn't really do that much of a special thing. All they did is like A, B, C. Or we would say something like, I had a similar idea a few weeks ago. If I would have executed on it, I would have probably got the same result. But I didn't really have time or something, or for whatever reason, didn't really do it. See, now, no matter which one of those reactions you have, both are losing reactions. We tend to go ahead and compliment a person, tell them we could never do what you've done, and we think we're doing something good. Yeah, we are doing something good for that person, but not for ourselves, because what we're doing at the same time, we're blocking ourselves away from the possibility of reaching something that is similarly unique, without even knowing what the steps that we're taking in order to reach that result. And on the other hand, when you hate on that person, what we actually do is we feed our insecurity. We just run away from that discomfort at the moment, knowing that we did not take action to reach that similar result, or we're not able to take action to reach that similar result. But putting those two reactions on the side, there's a third reaction. And that reaction is called the reaction of a curious student. Now, most people do not have that, but those who do benefit the most and are the happiest at the same time. See, now, a curious student, they would be fascinated by someone doing something special. And they go ahead and compliment that person and they acknowledge that special thing that they did. But immediately after that, they move to the phase where they ask how. They might ask that person directly or go ahead and look for the answers on their own. But they go ahead and seek those answers. And the reason why they do that is because they understand the following. Special results come from special behavior. And the beautiful thing about behavior is that it is adoptable. I'm going to repeat that. Special results come from special behavior. And the beautiful thing about behavior is that we can adopt it. See, now once they find out the answers, they go ahead and ask themselves, am I ready or willing to take similar action in order to reach my own version of that unique result? If the answer is yes, then they will go ahead and do it. But if the answer is no, then they would know that they know what the answers are and what they're supposed to do, but still they said no. See, now, no matter what the answer is, on both sides, they know what it takes, so they did not rob themselves away from that opportunity to understand what it takes to do something that special. And at the same time, they did not fool themselves by thinking they can, but they just decided not to. And the reason why those people are the happiest is because they are curious. See, now there's a neuroscientist in the University of California who studied what happens in the brains of human beings when they're curious. And what that neuroscientist found out is that curiosity prepares the brain for higher levels of creativity. That means when you're curious, you start to make your own pathways that you never thought existed in order to create something that you never thought you were able to create, which brings you more happiness. And the second finding that neuroscientist had is that the same parts of the brain that get activated when a human being is curious are the same parts that are responsible for reward and pleasure. That means the same part that gets activated in the brain that means that you are happy when you receive candy or when you get a like or comment on social media are the same parts that get activated when you're curious. But the difference between those two kind of activation is that one of them is long lasting and the other is not. See, now when you're curious, you're not just inducing dopamine in your brain and you're happy in the moment and you're experiencing flow, but at the same time, you are getting closer to that higher version of yourself and you're starting to do stuff that you never thought you were capable of. And on the long term, that is transformation right there. That's where you become proud of yourself when you look back 3 months ago and see that you were capable of bringing yourself from that person to the person today who's capable of doing this and this and that, which wasn't even possible 3 months ago. So yeah, go ahead and be a curious student.